Okay, there we go. Alright,
Oh, I see it.
excellent. Alright, this is Sega Channel Retro, and this is a special stream, this special edition stream, where we're going to be taking a look at the Windy Halley Restoration mod, handled by CorvidDude.
Hi there.
And also we have here Overlord from Sonic Retro, who's going to be helping us with the general flow of the stream. How's it going, Overlord?
Oh, ahoy, ahoy, peoples.
Alright.
Been a long day.
Yeah. Well, without any, well, before we get started, actually, like, just real quick, Corvid, like, how did you, like, and, you know, like, how did you get into this project? Like, what got you started on it?
So it actually starts way, way, way back when it first came out, and some people had released these rips of the stage in wavefront format. And I didn't really have the time to jump full on into the Sonic Adventure restoration project because I was currently working on Sonic Generations, my Sonic Adventure Generations mod. So what I did was I needed another stage. I needed it quickly. So I took Act 3 and I very quickly, over like 2 weeks, just ported it to Sonic Generations, threw an object layout together, play tested the hell out of it, and that was it.
Nice.
Mainly because I figured that if this level never gets ported to Sonic Adventure, people are still going to want to play it. So I did that just in case the Sonic Adventure version never happened.
Because I know, like, I wanted to try and see if I could get the auto demo up and running in some form or fashion on my end, but it was just a complete hassle, especially, if I recall correctly, like, only certain emulators can actually run it, based on, like, what it emulates.
Using null DC?
Yeah, I was using null DC,
Yeah.
which is horribly outdated, I think.
Yeah, no, the auto demo is a mess. Don't go poking in there unless you really, really, really like Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, especially because, like, you know, it's an auto demo, so by definition, you can't play it. It plays by itself.
Yes, you have to do some shenanigans to get it into gameplay mode, and even then, it's really only partially in gameplay mode. But as you were saying before, how did I get into the project? One of the other things that kept me from getting into the project initially was the state of the level editing tools. I kept asking over and over and over again, can you make custom stages yet? And they're like, well, no, we can't really export anything, and we don't have any scene tools. So when I had some free time, I decided to sit down and really figure out, okay, how am I going to get a stage into Sonic Adventure with the current tools? I was given push access to the repository for the tools. And, oh, actually, did you know there's an Easter egg in this stage?
Where is it?
Alright, you're almost near it. Kill that enemy and go up the trampoline.
Oh. Yeah, it's gonna be a 30-second delay, so we'll see what we can do.
Alright, yeah, you should still be in part 1.
Yeah.
But right after the part with the lake and the water area, there is a platforming section with some boxes and rings on top of them. If you reach that, you've gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the side of the stage, on the right side, there is a small platform, and it might be hard to make that blind jump. If you can land on that, the Easter egg is there.
Oh boy. Yeah, the camera's acting weird on me right now. It's stuck in it's stuck in a stationary place, and I can't get it out.
Oh, did you run through the wind path?
Yeah, I tried to make me go through it, and then
Oh yeah, no. If you jump out of that, there's a bit of an issue.
let's see.
I tried thinking of better ways to fix that. You know, oh, you see that windmill that's on the side of the thing? That's where the Easter egg is, by that windmill on the side of that little spire.
Oh, I'll see if I can hit it.
Yeah.
If not, I apologize. I suck at following directions.
Yeah, just run all the way through the wind path to clear the camera.
Right. So is it just real quick? Is it past the little pond, or is it
It's just past the little pond, just barely.
Okay, so like there's all these different block platforms to get up to this trampoline part here.
The trampoline's too far.
Okay. So if I go back down.
Yeah, you know that odd scoop-shaped thing? It looks like an ice cream scoop.
Yeah.
It's at the base of that.
Okay. So like where there's like, oh, what do you know? I found it.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
So wait, was this something that you added in, or is this in
Yeah,
the
I totally did that.
Very nice. Senor Rick Fields. Yeah, that was one thing I was wondering about this mod, is like how much, in terms of like creative liberties, did you have in creating this, in this restoration project? Because I'd assume you would have to, considering like there were just certain elements that just weren't really conducive for an actual level.
Yeah, well, in the first half of the level, not much. The first act is pretty accurate, mostly because the first act was mostly done. The other two, not so much. Although we were able to find all of the object models, and the objects to actually be ported correctly would have required us to write code for each one, make a custom object, display code, all that fun stuff. And worst of all, it wouldn't match the vertex lighting I added in the stage. So all of the object models have been ripped, textured, and then cloned over and over and over again to match the proper positions in the object file.
Gotcha. Who all worked on this project, by the way? Because, like, when you released that initial YouTube video, there were so many different people who just had hands on it. And, like we were saying before the cast, like, there were several people, there's just several people who just wanted to try and work on this project.
Yep. Well, main memory, it's easy actually, and Catley had done most of the prep work before I got this stage, and then they handed me all of their work and I finished it, basically, is what happened.
Okay.
As for some of the other people, Evil Ham Wizard did a lot of research that we wound up not using, not out of malice, but simply because once you get me developing something, I tend to just work on it till it's finished. Which is actually... oh God. I worked on this for about 2 months at about 20 hours a week. Because I'm unemployed, so I basically worked on it full time.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, this is my portfolio piece, really. So the other two acts of the stage, the tornado and this one, were very incomplete. The camera layouts were completely missing. In fact, no camera layouts were ever made for those two parts of the stage, because if you watch the beta footage and you really pay attention, you can see they're using the default camera, the development camera that you can zoom in and swing around.
Right.
So I had to go through and create an entire camera layout for both of them.
I just fell off and died. But yeah, so like I did kind of notice, the camera moves in like part 3 here seem very specific. Actually, I guess these are all like completely all new here, correct?
Yes. Basically I drew upon all the experience I had done with the Sonic Adventure redo and Mushroom Zone to design a new camera layout. And this one is technically superior to both of them because we had more research for that.
And this is also as a result that the like some of the tools that you use to make this work on these levels, they have new like camera functions, right?
Right. Well, before, the level editor could really only load meshes, like world geometry. It could load an object layout, and that was about it. Features for editing cameras. So you can now view the regions where cameras trigger. The triggers, you can move their points, because cameras have 2 points, A point and B point.
Okay.
So yeah, you can move those, you can rotate those. And the other thing the level editor didn't have before I came along is movement handles. You know how 3D editors have handles you can drag to move things around?
Right.
It didn't have one of those, so placing anything was extremely tedious.
Oh. Oh man. Let's see. So here's like one example that I've noticed was like, this camera move, you'll see in about 30 seconds, is very deliberate. Like it focuses mainly on like a pivotal point towards the end of this section, and I noticed it's cleverly trying to hide this upper platform that technically Sonic could get up to, but I don't know if it was you or if it was just came like this, that there's like this invisible wall that I just cannot get past whatsoever.
Yes, that is actually preserving root sanctity. I wanted people to realize there's another way to get up there.
Right. Oh wow, I clipped through it. How did I do that?
You can clip through it if you try hard enough.
Yeah,
It's
But,
Sonic Adventure. Of course, you're going to be able to clip through things.
I know.
exactly. That's one of the reasons I didn't feel so bad about cutting people off, is because if they were really determined, they get through it anyways.
Oh yeah.
But it's to, and there are items over there, so it's to let you know there's another way of getting up there. And the way to do it is, that huge ramp after the wave section? Instead
Yeah.
of running off that, do a full tilt spin dash and land on the top of the structure. There's a whole other area up there you can go through, and that has a rocket that takes you up there.
Right. Yeah, we'll show that off as once we do like an initial pass this stage. I'm just kind of going through like a general playthrough, because this is like the most open I've ever seen of any kind of like Sonic Adventure level, and this was supposed to be official at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I was wondering, because like some of these objects, like these rings and these checkpoints, were these in here initially? I'm not sure.
The only things that was in this level initially were some springs, rings, and a few decorations. Aside from that, it was completely empty.
Okay. And that's, it's stuff like that that I feel like, is kind of necessary to be able to, give people an idea of, like, what this level was supposed to be like. Because even with the additions that are here now, it still feels, like, super barren. But I don't think it's, like, at the fault of, what you did. Like, you just try to make it, as presentable as it was, it was originally made. And there was a possibility that, they weren't even going to finish with this whatsoever. And they were like, this is just too open.
Yeah, actually, one of the lessons they probably learned is one of the same lessons I learned the first time I tried making a very open level in Sonic Adventure, and that is the more play surface you give your player, especially the more non-linear play surface you give your player, your development and testing time goes up a lot.
Oh yeah.
Almost exponentially, because you have to run around, you have to test and debug each one of those new camera zones. It's a real nightmare, and it's probably the main reason modern Sonic games are hallway simulators.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, if people can see on the stream right now, like, we're looking at the area that's like the beginning. So you could literally just clip through, like, not clip, but you could just literally just skip past the entire level and have not experienced anything about it by just jumping off the side of the ramp over there.
If you can get past the barriers I put up.
Yeah, so you did put a barrier there.
A few of them. I tried to make it... I do believe in speedrunning, and I do like breaking things, but I wanted to at least make it interesting for speedrunners. I didn't want them to just be like, oh yeah, that's what you do, game over.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure even if this was, released commercially, I'm pretty sure Sonic Team would have put some kind of barrier there, because they would have realized, oh wait, we forgot to fix this, oh no.
Yeah, this area you're in, right at the end of the stage, was completely empty. Those decorations, I placed all of them.
Okay, so then, like, even the end levels, like, you had to put that there for people to finish the stage with.
Well, the egg capsule was there.
Oh, okay.
That was it. That was it, though. There was nothing other than the egg capsule. It was barren. Yeah, I mean, this level was a little more complete than Hidden Palace Zone in Sonic 2 when I got it.
Okay. Whoa. I'm also wondering, like, what would be some of the difficulties of, since you converted this to Sonic Adventure Deluxe, and you're working with a level that was probably worked on in, like, probably even in 1997. Like, that's probably how early this was made in, because Sonic Adventure was originally a Sega Saturn project. Mm-hmm. And it kind of looks like some of the geometry here kind of makes it look like it was from a Sega Saturn game, where it has enough details, but they kind of want to guide people because it's a 3D game. Like, there's so many arrows.
I think the real reason that the level geometry is not so detailed in this is to compensate for the obscene amount of objects that were placed.
Right. Because
I decimated the object layout significantly. There are many, many, many missing decorations in the first act. Like, there's just too much. It was just noise.
And of course, I'm still playing this level as Sonic, but, we've seen in, like, previous screenshots, we've seen, like, Tails, we've seen even Amy and Big the Cat in these levels, but, I also noticed that, like, deliberately, you still can't play as Amy or people like that.
That is simply because, in Sonic Adventure, even if you extend the level select for a character, the character has to complete the stage before it shows up in the trial menu.
Right.
And so I would have to figure out how to get the wind key to open up Windy Valley for the other characters, and I was done with the level at that point. Nobody was really going to want to play as Amy or Big. Okay, everybody wants to play as Big, but you get the idea.
Oh yeah. So I'm also kind of wondering, are there, because like you can go in here as E102 Gamma for at least the first part, and then it just kind of ends. But were there any objects layouts specific just for E102 Gamma, or is it just kind of for Sonic, and then like everything else is just kind of added in at last minute?
In the source material, I don't think there were any other character layouts. I didn't check. I based all of them off the Sonic layout. Interestingly enough, there's a hilarious glitch, and it's the reason E103 is not present when you play as Gamma, and that's... We don't really know how E103 picks a destination to fly to, so you can place where he starts out, but you have to beat him really quickly, or he will get up and start flying towards the position in the original Windy Valley where the battle takes place.
Oh no, yeah.
yeah, and so that wasn't acceptable, not even remotely, and we didn't have a good job with that, by the way. That was awesome. I know how to fix that.
Oh, so the tornado, like I'm still somehow able to run up the tornado, which I kind of feel like that should be like an actual feature of Sonic, is that he can just ride the wind.
You know, I think I'll keep that one, because we are making a patched version for the hacking contest. The hacking contest version will just be auto demo levels, so it'll come with the Speed Highway, it'll come with Windy Valley, maybe Final Egg if we have the time to port some of the changes. But yeah, I know how to fix that.
The tornado's perfect. Stop saying you're going to fix it.
No, I was saying I could. I know how. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it. But yeah, I had to do some original research on the collision surface flags for this too. Because, you're on the alternate pathway now. You'll find out how to get up there.
Oh yeah, and then there's like a completely different path for Sonic to take up here, which is insane.
Yep. And I wanted people to find this because it's up there. And I knew if I put just a little barrier to entry to the upper path, they would go looking.
Oh yeah. And it's a pretty nice find, if I may say so myself.
Yeah. And right after that wind path, where the tree was in the circle of rings, that was empty in the original layout. This is all new. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say that this level was a mess in the auto demo, and that's probably because it wasn't meant to be playable. It was a broken build. It was just some shredded leftovers. They might have had a more complete version on their repository that we never got.
Right. And it's going to be kind of hard to, again, not really going to be easy to tell unless we were somehow able to procure an earlier demo of Sonic Adventure, but
right.
Probably not. Probably not for a long time or ever. Who knows?
We're stupidly lucky to get this one as it is.
Yeah, credits to Orange Fox, who found the auto demo.
It was Orange Fox, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to get him in on this, but he is also not American, so he's probably fast asleep right now.
Orange is American, dude.
He doesn't... Oh, I'm insane then.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
Well, he's American in terms of nationality. He lives in the UK.
Aha! See? Alright.
Yeah. One of the biggest problems and headaches with this mod was that the camera system in Sonic Adventure is really only about 30% understood.
Yeah.
So I really dug deep into my designer's bag of tricks just to make this work as well as it did.
Because I can imagine, reverse engineering this kind of stuff is just the most difficult thing you could ever think of. Just trying to get this to work.
Was more tedious than difficult. Like, I just sat there for months on end poking camera values and figuring out what variables did what. Oh, in this section you're in right now, I actually bumped up the poly count. Not the one you're in right now, but the one just before it with the wall run section and the huge C-shaped down sloping path. I added some polygons to that because it was very low poly. I smoothed it out. I redid a bunch of the texture coordinates, even though they're still garbage, because there was no way I was going to have time to re-UV map the whole stage.
Right.
But I did what I could for it.
Yeah, not bad.
Let's see. I'm going to try the Windy Valley with Tails. And of course, there's actually some boost panels. I assume you added them in as well.
Yes.
Okay, so that explains, like, why... You know, why they're here. I thought they were just a little strange, but, like...
One thing I should add, the object layouts for Windy Valley, when we got them, had none of the common objects in them. That means no dash panels, no rings, no, they had springs. I mean, no, they had rings and springs, but nothing else. So no item boxes, no dash panels, no spike balls, none of that.
Right.
No checkpoints, even. So, the checkpoints I put in, the dash panels I put in, all of that.
And there we go. There's why 3D Sonic design is incredibly flawed.
Yep. Oh yeah, Tails is overpowered so much. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. And it explains why, like, you'll probably never see, like, a 3D Sonic multiplayer game where Sonic and Tails can race against each other.
Yep. In fact, if you ever see a Sonic Adventure sequel, you'll probably see Tails getting his own stages exclusively.
Oh yeah. Oh. There we go. Oh, I don't remember if I asked this. Like, what were all the tools that were used to, you know, try and get this this stage up and running? Because I know there was the level editor, obviously, which was like, what exactly was used to, like, rip the stage from the auto demo straight to the you know, to the PC version?
Okay, so we have an entire suite of tools we've been programming, mostly in C# with Visual Studio Express, called Sonic Adventure Tools.
Mm-hmm.
And this suite covers the complete spectrum. Everything from splitting the data from the original game into folders so that you can manipulate them in the editors. We have a level editor, we have a model editor. I wrote several 3D Studio Max scripts for exporting things to interim formats so that you can import them into the game.
Right.
I wrote a program that lets you compile a series of textures into a PVM file and generate a texture list. We built the whole pipeline, all of it.
Oh, the Lightspeed trail for Tails is missing, but it's there for Sonic.
Yeah, that's actually not a Lightspeed trail. It's a suggestion to let you know that there are wind currents there so that you can safely make that jump.
That's so weird. Because, like, I always just use the Lightspeed dash, and then, like, I was able to make it pretty cleanly with Sonic that way, but, you know. It just looks way too, you know, it looks like a straight line. Like, it's supposed to be like a Lightspeed dash thing, but then, you know, you can just use a different method to get down there, as you just said. Trying to think. I'm busy mesmerized with this level.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. I do kind of wish, like, Sonic Adventure was kind of made with this kind of mindset for the level design, but it just kind of looks like this was made before they kind of realized that, you know, they decided to be a little more... Well, mostly... Well, that and, like, you know, they realized they could be a lot more cinematic with the presentation, since, you know, they're dealing with 3D space. Kind of like how, for Zelda Ocarina of Time, you know, there's, like, that distinct difference between, like, Link to the Past, or and then you go to Ocarina of Time. Like, just that level of presentation is just immense. And, of course, like, the combat system and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, one other thing I should touch upon is the mod manager, which was made by Main Memory, correct?
Yeah, Mod Manager is without a doubt the greatest gift to Sonic Adventure modding ever.
Right. And here it is right here. Like, I just have a few in place already, including, like, obviously the Windy Valley thing. And, of course, it tells you who all worked on it and gives you, like, a brief description, I think. And then there's also, yeah, there's the description. And then, of course, I use the X input fix, which basically just disables the right analog stick because I don't know what is up with the PC version, but it just does not like the right stick with certain controllers.
Interestingly enough, it interprets the values incorrectly. It's interpreting the horizontal on the X, or yeah, the X-axis for the second stick in really strange ways. I don't know how to describe it. Like when you put the stick all the way to the left, the value is 0. When you put it all the way to the right, it's like negative 127 or something. And the worst part is it's not even doing it contiguously. It's doing them Boolean values, and the y-axis works perfectly.
That's so weird.
It is. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I don't understand.
I mean, there's like one thing that I kind of like for the Steam release is that it has native X input support, which makes it. I mean, obviously you're not going to get all the cool mod stuff, and it doesn't look anywhere near as good as like the initial PC port and things like that. But
that is
that
a only redeeming feature.
Yes, that's it.
That's it.
But yeah, there's also like codes and like just so like how easy is it to integrate your mods into the mod manager here?
Alright, so if you're familiar with how Sonic ROM hacking was back in the day, when you were still using IPS patches and like directly pasting data into a ROM.
Right.
Alright, before Mod Manager, that's what we were doing to the PC executable for Sonic Adventure. And what Mod Manager does is Mod Manager hooks into the Sonic executable as it's running in memory, and it detects pointers and lets you overwrite them.
Okay.
So, say you have a completely custom stage, you are now no longer bound by how many kilobytes of data you can delete in Sonic.exe. You can just redirect the pointers to your extended memory space on the fly, and it will load whatever you tell it to.
There's like all these other weird little features in the mod manager that I wasn't really, or that kind of made certain features more apparent. Which also includes like, I had no idea about this. There's like mouse control for Sonic Adventure.
There is. Yep. It's like a virtual joystick. You click down to initiate a movement, and then it actually takes the magnitude of your movement and like makes that the controller input. Very strange.
Now, so wait, I can't tell if this is like supposed to be a debugging feature or where this came from, but like,
I'll bet you it was a quality assurance thing. Like, you can't release a game on PC without mouse controls.
But quality assurance for Sega? Because I would assume like there's
Sega
not really.
has quality assurance. They just, I think.
Sits around drinking all day.
Well,
They're just some very esoteric people who are trying to do their jobs the best they can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're playing with Gamma here, and I can kind of see why. I mean, I guess like in the initial design document, they planned for him to be in Windy Valley for the plot, but for the level layout as it is right now, like I mean, I would assume it's just like this as it is. So they can just quickly like demonstrate the prowess of Sonic Adventure, since Sonic Adventure for Dreamcast looked way more technically advanced than any Sega Saturn game before it. And then there's one other thing with Gamma is like you can fly past. There's a barrier back there.
Yeah.
And like you can get to this part over here, but there's kind of nothing here.
Now you're doomed.
Yeah, there's nothing here whatsoever. So like this rock structure is completely useless.
Yep. Actually, see that curve that you're going up to on the right side of the screen?
Oh, I already jumped off.
But yeah, well, that's new. I added that and gave it proper texture coordinates because you could see into the nothingness with the original one.
Right.
So that just goes to show the level of polish that was put on this. It's called a restoration for a reason. It is not a straight port. I didn't think that would do the level justice. I think the level deserves better than that.
And that totally makes sense. Because, when people... I mean, obviously, it's going to be kind of a bummer to where it's like, okay, well, they're probably going to get the wrong idea of, like, if they play the level as it originally came, they're going to be like, well, this is stupid, no wonder they cut this level out. But then, that's probably why they didn't, that's probably not the reason why they cut that level out in the first place, is because they just didn't finish it. There were probably some other things going on at the time.
Some of the more popular guesses that I've heard are they wanted to cut it down so the level flows better, a more streamlined experience.
Right.
And this is supported by the fact that the first two parts are very similar. And the final version of Act 1 is it's a spiritual successor to the beta Part 1. It's the same layout, but with a lot of things taken out.
Okay.
What was the other one? The other one was that focus testers and play testers might have been getting lost in the open, expansive area.
And it explains why, especially for, like, even modern Sonic games, where they have a camera just kind of trying to encourage players to go in certain directions, because, like, say, like, you're going down the slope, it's kind of trying to point itself down, although I think when I was going down this slope, it kind of seems like the camera's freaking out a little bit.
Ooh, okay, two things. The camera guiding the player is actually an emergent property of a camera system that guides the player around. Alright, so the reason the camera gets so close to you right now in this section is because if you come flying around this corner from the start and go up that hill with the normal camera, the camera will get embedded in the wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a crappy solution to a crappy problem because a better solution wasn't known. I mean, people complain about it a lot, and I know it sucks. I'm sorry, I wish I had something better for you, I really do.
Like here, like when you go up, like I'll show it off. I mean, people will see it now, but it'll be apparent for you guys in about a few seconds. But just the camera just gets sucked into the wall after you like launch off that ramp.
Yeah. I mean, even with the fix, it still gets sucked in the wall up there. Yeah.
And you don't want to like autocorrect the camera too much because then you're just going to confuse the player.
Yep, very disorienting. That's actually another thing that's been an issue, where some players fly through the level very quickly, so you need your camera triggers to pan equally quickly.
Right.
If you have a player who's taking a leisurely stroll through a level and the camera whips around to show him the new area, he's gonna get sick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so I did a lot of playtesting with this to find what I thought were the best pan speeds. I mean, you'll never get anyone to agree on Sonic Adventure's camera system, but if you're having trouble with the camera, that's why. I didn't have an army of focus testers and, a huge budget and all the time in the world. Because if I did, then, I could make it as good as the final game at least, It's what I do. I'm trying to be a professional level designer.
And I will say, like, even if I haven't said it before, like, I think the work that's gone into this is, really well done. Even with, like, given the limitations of the original level, you've, crafted something that would be equally appealing to people who have been eagerly awaiting, this kind of project for years. Probably since, like, 1998.
16 years, I think it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm going to sound crazy for saying this, but Sonic Adventure has been and always will be my favorite game. So it deserved it. I couldn't not do this.
You're not the only one to say that Sonic Adventure is their favorite. Even if, they've come from, like, playing the 2D games or whatever, like, people still like Sonic Adventure, like, the most for just some of the crazy ideas that it has. The presentation is just unrivaled, I would honestly say. Like, you could say something like, oh, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, all of this stuff. I don't think those games are nearly on the scale to, like, what Sonic Adventure was trying to go for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and here's another weird camera freakout, where there's these small hills, and then, like, you kind of leap up in the air, and then sometimes the camera tries to look behind you. I think that's
that's actually a glitch that has been fixed, and I can explain what happened there. So the level editor has different checkboxes for which character mode you're in.
Right.
That glitching behavior was actually a fix intended for Tails, because when you're playing as Tails and you're flying or jumping, camera zones that will activate for Sonic in the air won't activate for Tails in the air. So I was experimenting to try and figure out how to get the camera to swing around with Tails in the air, and I accidentally put an experimental fix for Tails in Sonic's contest version. It should be fixed.
Alright. One other glitch I kind of noticed here is this rhino that's upside down, pooping himself out of the geometry and falling to its death.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
a bad day, isn't he?
Yeah, is that from the original layout, or is that from Or is
It
that...
probably is, yeah. Yeah, the rhino tanks and the snake enemies, all of the enemies had their positions. I did adjust some of their positions. There's another rhino tank on the platform before this that was doing the same thing.
Okay.
And I moved him. I guess I just must have missed this one.
Oh, well. Yeah, I'd imagine, like, you know, it's... You know, since there are certain levels, or, you know, like, certain objects that are in the level, you know, like, even, like, people who make the game, like, they'll kind of forget, like, where things are at, and then, they just kind of end up God knows where.
Yeah, it's a really sophisticated piece of software. You need an army of people to check every single checkbox, and even then, you don't always get it.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Also, the fact that you can actually run up walls, like, it's so weird to see that in Sonic Adventure, but you totally can do it. And here's that trailer rings here. I guess I'm kind of running down the wire here in terms of, like, what to show off, but, you know, I guess we could open up to Q&A if you guys in the chat want to ask some questions here. But, of course, I'll have to let that pop in after, like, 30 seconds because of the Twitch delay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, is there any other plans for what you'd like to do after this? Like, I know, like, you and I guess the others are planning on doing the, like you were saying earlier, the auto demo pack for the Sonic hacking contest.
Yep. Just want to polish up any of the differences and make them playable. I'm going to be taking less of an active role in that. I mean, really, Windy Valley was just my contribution to the scene. I really need to spend more time working on my demo reel.
Yeah.
So that I can quit living on, like, what, $1,000 a year. But I mean, I've got a game development backlog that stretches to 2003, so
Oh yeah.
I should have it done soon.
What other projects have you worked on, if you can mention?
Oh boy, that's a long list.
I guess narrow it down to, like, what are some of your, like, most favorite to least favorite projects that you've worked on.
We can start the Q&A if you want. I've got a question through.
Alright, well then just quickly I'll go through. I worked on a Super Smash Brothers clone called Shattered Sword. That one's still in development. Really like that one. Can't wait for it to come out. I built a bunch of single-player levels for Quake, the first-person shooter, and Descent. And then there's Sonic Adventure Generations. Obviously, everybody knows that one. But those are the good ones, I guess. Oh, and I built 2 vertical racing games called Meteor Madness and Meteor Madness 2, where you play as, like, these energy beings and you have to race up the screen and go through an asteroid field first to win. So there's that. But yeah, that's the highlights right there.
Awesome. All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and rip it open for some Q&A stuff going on. What's up?
Okay. So the first question is from Belina Productions, who asks, are there any plans to port any Sonic Adventure 2 levels to SADX?
That'd be kind of interesting, actually, because I think they have a similar enough file structure. I know main memory ported, like, one object from Sonic Adventure 2 into this.
Oh, the Goal Ring?
Yeah.
That was actually more of a recreation than a port, but yeah,
Right.
it's about the same thing. Actually, the coordinate space between the two games is very similar, but if not identical. The character physics have been tweaked slightly, and the characters themselves in Sonic Adventure 2 are a bit larger. I did an experiment porting Sonic Adventure 2's Green Hill Zone, just as, you know, to work on the editing tools a bit. It works pretty well. So if you want to, you should be able to do some of those ports. You'll have to do your own reimagining, like in Windy Valley, because it's not going to be a straight copy paste and work the way you think it will.
Kiddo Cabooses has asked, are there any other theoretical prototype levels that you would like to recreate? It doesn't necessarily have to be Sonic.
We need that Chaw Garden level. That's just like that one straight line.
I don't really know of any levels in other games that were removed that are also...
SA2 has that prototype basic test level, but that's not really that special.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have to recreate that either, though. That runs in the game.
No, that's true.
You can just load it up. So, yeah, no, I mean, if somebody points me a game that's very moddable and I can learn the tools and they have access to prototype materials, yeah, I'd be happy to polish them off, but the set to choose from is probably pretty small.
Okay, I get the feeling I'm missing something on this question. Linabro has asked, will the next thing you work on have rhinos getting pooped out of the scenery?
I sure hope so. That would be fantastic.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Flaming Hedgehog says, can we get some screenshots / footage of the Super Smash Bros. Shattered Sword that you mentioned, as it sounds interesting?
Sure, I'm actually pulling that up now. That's what those awful clacking keyboard sounds are. I will paste this in the chat. It's there are a few videos of it on my channel. If you go onto my YouTube channel or my Google Plus page, you can find my itch.io account, which has all my indie games on it. So yeah, there's that. It's pretty fun. I tried to focus mostly on making the characters feel good to play before anything else. And it will take a while, because currently I have no funding and I've only had one person alpha fund it, so... I will finish it just like I eventually finish everything, but it might be 2020 when it comes out.
You ever considered like going to like Steam Greenlight or maybe through like GOG's indie venture, anything like that?
You have to be quick if it's Greenlight. They're about to cancel it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Greenlight doesn't give you funding. It
Right.
just gets you on the platform. No, what I need is funding, mostly because I can do the game myself, but I need to be able to eat long enough to make it.
Right.
And I need to hire an artist to polish off my work, because I can do most of the artwork, but it wouldn't do justice to the game to not have another artist come by and polish what I've done.
There we go.
Bart,
Yes.
Gene wants in.
Oh. Well then let's see if I can get him to hop in here. Pause.
Don't know if you're going to have to do that.
Yeah. Although we may be wrapping up the Sonic Adventure portion of it, and then we can just, I don't know, just gab about on Sonic Jump Fever.
Incidentally, while you're doing that, the other question that got asked, Overly Twitchy asked, is there any plan to continue with porting / recreating beta levels from other potential games in the future, which I guess kind of leads on from Kiddo's question, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think I answered both questions in one go, though, because I don't know of any other games that have unfinished content that I can also mod.
Hello, hello.
Ahoy, G.
Yeah.
Got any questions for CorvidDude for the Windy Valley Restoration Project? Although some of it might have been asked, but, you know, fire off anyway. Why not?
Well, mostly I had was, well, I've been following the topic, so probably not, but I'll just throw it out there, was the tornado segment was actually pulled from the auto demo too, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was found. The land table was missing. The land table is basically a thing that tells you how to stitch together all the stage models. But yeah, we were able to recreate that, but there was a lot less information on that one than the others, so it was kind of dicey, as you probably figured out by playing it.
Yeah, it looked a little bit chopped up compared to this and Act 1, or Part 1 rather. But
I gotta say,
it still looked fairly playable.
it's definitely fun. Trying to think, because like, I don't know, like there's like certain sections where it also just feels like you purposely had to make sure that players couldn't like abuse the level design to get them to places that they're not supposed to be. Like at the end of of Part 3, where there's like that small ramp, you can kind of get Sonic to go up it. Oh, here's a seam.
Speaking of abusing level design, here's an interesting question from Flaming Hedgehog. Has there been a thought for a Kaizo Sonic adventure, as it sounds like a silly idea that could work with your level design skills?
Kaizo Sonic Adventure, what does that even mean?
You know what a
basically
Kaizo Mario hack is?
Yeah, basically it's a brutally
those.
difficult version of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the patience for that.
I thought Sonic Adventure was already Kaizo Sonic Adventure.
Actually, no, you know what? You want Kaizo Sonic Adventure? Play that Sonic Adventure redo mod I made with all the stages in it. It's Kaizo because the springs don't have any control lockout timers, and the dash pads all send you the wrong way.
Oh god.
So Sonic Adventure 2.
Yay.
Basically.
I was also wondering if the mod I'm just going to interject my own question. Like, do you have any plans to get other characters in this level at some point? I think you kind of already answered that question, but I just want to ask just to make sure.
Okay, so Big actually does have a level layout. You can load the game as Big, but you have to use Cheat Engine to do it. But for some reason, Froggy can't move, so he can't take the bait, and you can never finish the level.
Huh.
But because Big is the best character in this game, I wanted to make sure he had a level layout. Amy should load Sonic's layout, and I don't know how well it'll work, but you can try it anyways.
Right. Unfortunately, I don't have Cheat Engine installed, so I can't really try the other characters at the moment. Also, I like the spring at the end over here, where it just kind of props you up. It's just one of the weird physics that the springs has. Do you have any other questions, Overlord?
Yeah, there is one. Sonic06 says, I was thinking the video is streaming at what seems to be 60 FPS, but the game actually runs at 50 with constant screen tearing.
Yeah,
Testing whether there's a fix, and is the hacking contest version of Windy Valley going to include more item boxes, and what layer polishing can we expect?
Also,
there's a lot of people chanting for Shadow, but yeah, they're idiots.
That depends entirely on how much free time I have, with how much polish it'll have. I'm gonna fix any obvious glitches, like the camera freakout that was discovered earlier, or the there's a camera glitch where the camera doesn't unlock in the tornado, so if you fall down far enough, the camera will just sit there and stare at one of the jump panels. That's been fixed. I'm gonna go for the more critical ones first, obviously, because, like I said, I'm trying to work on my portfolio and get hired as a designer, so I really won't have much free time soon. Or unless somebody wants to do like commissions, I'll do like I've already done a few commissions for stage layouts for fan projects. Those are cheap. I got paid $30 for one. I can bang those out all day. But yeah, no, it won't be glorious polish, but I will try to do something for it.
I did see people on the front page when we posted this video, or a video of it that you put up, going, hey, so when are you going to put this on the Dreamcast or the GameCube? And I just started laughing, but I approved it anyway because I know that would be quite a technical undertaking.
Oh, yeah.
It would be. The biggest question is, can we simply extend the stage binaries on the Dreamcast version? Because they're just stored in little binary packets that the thing loads. And if we can just extend those, just in hex with no problems whatsoever, then this would be easy. If you can't, then yeah, it'll probably be the technical exercise from hell. GameCube one's not happening because the GameCube is big endian, so everything is byte swapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A pain.
Steam version's never happening because the Steam executable is encrypted, and the Steam version is obviously a recompile with source changes. So
endless content.
Yeah, exactly. So all of the addresses for functions and objects and code and things like that will be shifted. We'd have to find them all over again. The only way you're going to see mods for the Steam version is if somebody from Sega hands me the source code and says, make this mod friendly. Because otherwise it's not going to happen.
Oh, we'll get back to you on that.
So we've got
Or you could
two
buddy
more
up with
questions.
Taxman.
In fact, actually, my dream job really is just to sit at home and make DLC stages for Sonic games. Because I wouldn't need a huge team, it could just be me, it'd be a cheap, low budget, but you'd still get new stages every now and again.
I know you get lots of fans of Sonic Generations if they heard that.
Oh yeah, wasn't there a plan to bring this to Generations? I don't remember.
No, I already did.
Oh, okay.
Except it was just the third half, and it was nowhere near as good because we hadn't learned as much about the auto demo version. So when I ported that stage to Sonic Generations, there was even more artistic interpretation, even more creating it from scratch.
As you would have to, since it's basically a completely different game at that point.
Yep. Yeah, that, and we had no idea what any of the object models were. We had no set placement. It was, yeah.
and watch you think, well, this stage is completely different from what we got in the final game. Of course, it's much more exploration based, much bigger. And then, like, I've seen people go, well, it's not that impressive when you think about it because it's very big, it's confusing, but there's lots of paths you can go, and Tails can, of course, is broken, you can skip most of the level. When can't he do that anyway? But I was thinking, given that Sonic Adventure started off on the Saturn, and we have a little bit of a hint of how it looked like thanks to Sonic Jam's Sonic World. Mm-hmm. Imagine something of this scale on the Saturn. And
I think the Saturn would die.
That would have been impressive, or the Saturn would have just exploded.
It makes the programmer in me weep, because I would just cry. The dual processors, the shitty dev kits. Ugh, no thanks.
Yeah.
and that was already not taking into account the fact the Saturn is awful at 3D.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have a floating point processor. Oh. Everything you see is fixed points, so it has to do like that PlayStation era hack with all the vertex locations with no precision.
Shaking just thinking about it.
So here's a fun question. It says, if you could recreate or do a reimagining of any level from any of the Sonic series and put it into Sonic Adventure 1 or 2, what would it be? I guess Generation-style remakes of an existing level.
Can Sonic Adventure even handle Generation-style, like, sizes of levels or anything like that?
Well, it wouldn't necessarily have to be Generation size, just the sort of general theme, I guess.
We're actually working on that. There's a technical challenge that I was trying to overcome for this stage in terms of optimizing the data that gets sent to the renderer, and it's called triangle strips, where you take a list of adjacent triangles and you send them to the renderer by their shared points. It's a bit of a programming challenge, but we weren't able to do it in time. And if we get that working, you should be able to send pretty complicated levels to the Sonic Adventure renderer without it choking too much. And this also, I can segue into that other question. If you could recreate any level in Sonic Adventure that you wanted to from a different game, you could like start porting the Sonic 2006 stages and have them running in a game engine that actually has slope physics and is fun to play.
Yeah.
I was just thinking Wave Ocean would be pretty fun here.
Yeah, in fact,
Wave Ocean is basically just Emerald Coast on steroids.
So yeah, Wave Ocean is in Sonic Adventure.
You know who will probably wind up doing that once we get the level suite all said and done? I'll bet you Mel Pantro will do that. If we give him the Sonic Adventure toolkit all ready to go, he would be all over that.
Yeah, it sounds like something he'd do.
He'd probably also message me on Skype every day when it didn't work and make me bug fix it for him, but I'd be happy to do it.
Also, the list of playable characters would change. Let's see, we'd end up with Pele the Beloved Dog, Professor Pickle.
Yes.
Yep. Oh yeah,
or
it's like
Sonic
that,
from Sonic Generations.
It's like that one time I put a Santa Claus hat on Eggman in Sonic Adventure. That was a long time ago.
I remember everyone freaking out when the Unleashed Project guys got the egg robos with the little sailor hats and everything.
Oh,
I think Scarlet Son lost it. She was like, "Oh my god,
that was amazing."
I think that was from her demand to have tiny sailor hats on everything.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, "Oh, you're abusing power, Scarred Son. What are you doing?"
It was a great idea.
If that's the worst case of opera abuse you can...
Small sailor hat.
If that's the worst case of administrator abuse you can point out, I think everything's good.
Yeah.
Sonic.exe Adventure Edition. Dear God, do not give Mark any ideas.
You guys need to shut up right now.
I mean, it's not like you guys can just go to the forum right now and click the logo and nothing's gonna happen.
I don't know what you're on about.
We got really lucky with the Unleashed project and the guys working on that. Dario is a super talented programmer and he doesn't give himself enough credit. It would have taken me like 20 years to program all of the same stuff he did and it would still run just awful.
I'm surprised Sega's not come knocking and been like, "Hi, so we see you're good at this."
Yeah. Well, Sega is working very hard to clear up their internal communication and cultural issues because they really do have them. I mean, anytime you try linking up a western and eastern ends of a corporation, it's going to be a cultural nightmare. So everything, their interactions with the fan base is going to be a little slow. You're going to have to be really patient with that.
Although, you know, just for some of the stuff that Sega's been letting people kind of get away with, like the fact that Sega is actually talking with Sonic Retro, even with the wiki that has, you know, some stuff that probably shouldn't be on there, like they're just totally cool with. Like, you know, that's a pretty big step compared to most other companies that would kind of not care for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Not mentioning any Nintendos. I mean names.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nintendo?
That's basically what I was trying to say, is they've made many good faith efforts to connect with their fan base. It's just, it has been slow, because, you know, cultural barriers and the corporate world never moves very quickly, so everybody should just be patient about that, and I think good things will happen if everybody's patient.
Select your character.
And then we have like the biggest. Well, I shouldn't really say biggest because given who's behind the project, we have Hidden Palace finally restored after how many years has it been? 21 when it came out. Yeah, 21 years.
Like
21 years later, the whole stage is restored, even if it's an original take. So that was pretty exciting, and apparently some people at Sega did not like that a little too much. But when you consider that that was the biggest selling point for Sonic 2, instead of just having, oh, it's Sonic
It's
2.
the same game again.
Yeah, you can't argue with the fan reception on that, though.
It's been massive.
Oh yeah. Like even like news sites, you know, like game sites that would not really report on anything like Hidden Palace Zone was actually talking about it. Like that's a pretty big deal if you ask me. We have, I think, if there's no more questions, I guess that should pretty much do it for our look at the Windy Valley Restoration Project.
Rescue complete.
Just having a quick look through here. The only other thing is I don't know really if it's something that's actually can be done. Something like, is there a way to give Sonic rolling in this game by mapping it to a different button than the spin dash? I suspect the answer to that is no, because you're going into real deep down by that point.
It should be possible. Like I said, with ModLoader, you can run any code you want in Sonic Adventure. It's just a matter of how well you know the original code and what you're capable of programming.
You might even
Fair
get your
enough.
Shadow the Hedgehog mod in there.
Yay! But yeah,
So
like
you can go around shooting up shoots at robots with an Uzi.
It'd be cool if Sonic Retro had influence over Sega's next Sonic title each time. Maybe. I don't know about that.
well, in any case, I guess we'll just kind of move on to our gab about, because we don't know when to stop the stream kind of thing. But yeah, thanks for jumping in, CorvidDude. Thanks to Overlord. Thanks to Gene for helping me out here, and of course you guys in the chat, the Twitch chat, who's been checking out, you know, wanting to check out this mod. You can find it. Well, we have a news update where it links to a YouTube video that CorvidDude made announcing the release of it, and it has the direct link to it there. You also can access the SADX mod manager on Sonic Retro's wiki or on Main Memory's website.
Kiddo.
I can't even
Out
read
of here.
it.
Let's create Ken Pender's Sonic movie pitch in Sonic Adventure 1.
Ah, there we go. Yep. All right. Nope. Winner. All right. That's what the Sonic Adventure modding community needs. Actually, where can you go if you want to get into modding Sonic Adventure?
Most of it is in the engineering and reverse engineering thread on Sonic Retro for the Sonic Adventure 1. Where did that thread go? Am I even in the right board?
Can normal or non-members actually see that?
I'm not certain. We should actually find out, because that's kind of a big deal. We need more talented reverse engineers, more talented programmers working on this game. If you want to see like Sonic 2 and Sonic 1 level disassembly stuff going on, we're going to need people who really understand assembly to work on this.
Yeah, I think like the reverse engineering board is still kind of dedicated to members only, but at the same time,
Let me have a look.
at
No,
the
did you
same
say
time-
engineering and reverse engineering?
Yes.
Yeah, that's publicly visible.
Oh, well, never mind then. Anybody can just go and check that out right now on
So
the
I was
Retro
saying the
Swarms.
alternative, but it would be a pain in the ass unless we got a few of the wiki guys in, would be kind of like how we have the classic Genesis Sonic manual, I guess for lack of a better term at the moment, on the wiki where you can just go there and reference everything. We'd have to compile something like that for the wiki for Sonic Adventure, but that's going to be quite a bit of work. I'm sure our wiki guys can handle it, but who knows?
Oh, yeah. Alright, well, let's go ahead and shut off Sonic Adventure and get Sonic Jump Fever going.
Oh boy.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh yeah! Sonic Jump Fever! Ooh, yeah.
Hey, some people like it. I'm not necessarily one of them, but I'm not really the kind of...
People
I
who
don't
are
think I'm
addicted to microtransactions.
I played it for 30 seconds, and those 30 seconds were an ad. Then I closed it and uninstalled it.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna take off. So thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for
Thanks,
jumping
Not a
in.
problem.
Thanks for making this. Later, Corvid.
Yeah, no sweat. Bye.
Ciao.